Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bapaya. I had sales sales and business development for KEF KATERRA. I'm slightly under the weather, so please, I beg your pardon if I have to take a pause in between in the presentation. Before I say anything about what we do and where we come from, I'd like to just go through, I'll let you all to see an audio visual. Okay, I think there seems to be a technical glitch here. So ever so often we are always asked who we really are. What is it that we really do? A lot of people think we are a precast company. Some of them think we're a design company. But what we really do is everything right from the time we do the excavation to the time we hand over the keys for complete operation and functionality of the structure and everything that comes in between. So what we are trying to do for the Indian market and globally is to build better, faster, and cheaper. You probably would have heard of us as KEF Infra some time back. We are now part of the global consortium KATERRA. We call it KEF KATERRA now. A little bit about KATERRA. We are present in 3 continents, about 3.7 billion of orders backlog at the moment, 20 offices across the world, and we're looking at coming up with more factories as we move forward. So from a perspective of trying to kind of integrate a structure, which means that you're talking about structure, we're talking about the services, which is modular is what we do. We're talking about the complete finishes and the fit-outs, which means all your loose furniture, doors to cabinets. We're talking about the complete facade solutions, which means that it could be a UPVC windows for residential. It could mean glazing. It could mean ACP cladding. And my personal favorite being what we call the pods, which is an entire room. Typically what we use pods for is the toilets or the bathrooms, where the entire bathroom and toilets are prefabricated in our factory to the point where even mirrors are fitted in. The pod is picked up, put on a trailer, moved to the site, and plug and play to the structure, right? So primarily what we're saying is we do everything. The only thing we probably don't do at this moment is landscaping. So how do we do this? In our line of business, when we say we call ourselves off-site manufacturers. Like any other manufacturing company, let's say cars or in washing machines for that matter, you have certain designs or models that the company gives you, right? Which means you're standardizing. There's a lot of repeatability. You can pick and choose between the various options that the car manufacturer would give you. You would have the starting, the entry level to the high-end models, and you can pick and choose. You have predefined, customizable options that you have, and you can pick and choose from that. So, which means that in a factory-controlled environment, you're assured of quality, you're assured of consistency. And the construction business has seen very, very little change over a period of a couple of decades. What we're trying to do is to bring in technology. What we're trying to do is to fasten the process of construction using technology. And one of the ways we do it is not only investing on technology, but also standardizing and getting as many repeatable elements in a structure. These are some of the verticals, pods and modular MEP. We have a joinery and upholstery division, which again, like I said, takes care of all the woodwork. We have the UPVC aluminum glazing division, which primarily covers everything. Now we have factories. We have a flagship factory in Krishnagiri, which is about an hour and a half drive from here. and it's located a little beyond Hosur. And this is a 42-acre plant where all that I spoke of is done, manufactured at this facility. We are also looking at setting up mobile plants. Now, one of the restrictions, the challenges we have in our line of business is the distance. Now, the further you are from the factory, or the site being further away from the factory, it adds to your per square feet cost. So what we're now doing is we're setting up mobile plants. We're setting up plants closer to the sites. And the beauty of these plants are that once the project is over, completed, we dismantle the plant and move it to the next location. So this is one of the plants that we have that has come up in Lucknow, where we're doing a 2+ million square feet of a retail mall for the rural. Some of the upcoming factories, please, please ignore the error there, but we have a factory in Krishnagiri, we have a factory in Lucknow, we're looking at coming up in the Pune-Bombay corridor, we're coming up in Amravati, we're coming up in Hyderabad, and these are some of the locations, and NCR. So these are the grand plans that we have of setting up factories of the current size that we have at the moment. Some of the segments, or rather the segments that we do work on, commercial office spaces and IT spaces is a big segment for us. We've done over 3 million square feet of commercials, slightly under 3 million square feet of commercials, but commercial, hospitals, hospitality, schools, malls, industrial and infrastructure projects, residential, and some special projects. You probably know of the Indira Canteens that was executed in 45 days from start to finish, about 101 canteens. We also do STPs in precast. That's one of the things that we've really added to our expertise. I'll quickly run through some of the projects that are being executed, that are ongoing. This is a completed project of Embassy, which is in Embassy Tech Village, which is a 1.7 million square feet of built-up area. This was done in a speed of 13 and a half months. These are some of the other elevations you can see. We've completed a project with Infosys. This is a 5.3 lakh square feet, which was done in about 15 months. This is handed over, it's occupied, and it's functional. This particular project, we did a span of about 16 meters, which means you're talking about longer spans, lesser columns, better carpet area. The scope here was turnkey, which means we did the structure, we did the modular MEP, we did the facade, and we did the bathroom pods. This is an ongoing project of Infosys, which is about 1.6 million square feet, which we intend to complete in about 10 months. This is the current work that's going on at the moment. This is a completed project again. This is a data center at the BGRT, where we did only the facade, the concrete facade. Vaishnavi Signature in Bangalore, this is in the handing over stages. About under 3 lakh square feet built up area. I beg your pardon again, I think this is Vaswani Augusta, a commercial office space in the handing over stages at the moment. Sands Infra Cochin, which is a 150 meter commercial building where we're doing the glazing and we're doing the bathroom pods here, the toilet pods. Now, the interesting thing here is when you're talking about toilets, be it residential or commercial, it's probably one of the most challenging works to actually undertake. Simply because you're relying heavily on labor, which means that there could definitely be inconsistencies. There's definitely leakages that you'll always find, and which means a lot of breakages, adds to cost, adds to your time, and of course has an impact in the handing over. So when you're talking about a 150-meter building, which means you're talking about 1,400 toilets here, and in Kerala, you can imagine the challenge in terms of, number one, the kind of labor that you would require, the timelines, and the impact it would have in terms of handling. Well, it's a commercial building. We are delivering 1,400 pods. We could be ready in less than 8 months or 6 months. But while our scope is only pods, now the structure or the company or the client is actually waiting for the structure to get finished, which is a PEB, for us to actually start delivering the pods. The toilets are ready. So what I'm trying to say is you've got everything tested, ready in the factory, and every bathroom pod has a certificate of conformity that you'd get like any other manufactured product that comes out of a factory, right? So this is, we're delivering about 1,400 pods. We're also doing glazing there. These are some of the mock-ups of the pods that we intend to deliver for SANS. And I would also like to welcome you all to our factory. We'd be delighted to have you all there. I urge you all to see this because what we have in this facility is absolutely state-of-the-art, cutting edge, and nothing like this in the world. We're probably the biggest in the world in terms of integrated off-site manufacturing solution provider. I'll move on. There are some of the other glazing projects. This is a hospital project in Calicut that we finished in 18 months. This is a 4 lakh square feet, again, turnkey. Ongoing project in Coimbatore, which is a hospital project, KMCH, which is about 1 million square feet approximately, on a turnkey basis. Another project in Coimbatore. We've also signed cancer centers and oncology hospitals with the Tata Trust across India on a design and build basis. This is the Lucknow project with the Lulus, which I was talking about, for which the plant was set up in Lucknow with 2 million square feet. This is a school project that we delivered in 45 days as part of our CSR. Now, if you notice, I'm not sure how many of you all have seen closely the Indira canteens, the image of Indira Gandhi on these canteens, right? So that's actually exposed concrete. You can have whatever patterns you want. It's one of the features that we have for the structures that we offer. This is another example of what we can do with exposed concrete, what we call graphic concrete. No painting required, zero maintenance, and the only maintenance required is for the rains to wash it off and clean it up. And the life of this patterns or designs is as good as the life of the concrete itself. A school project in Cochin that's I handed over recently. Again, this is a Philip Johnson-inspired glass house that we came up with. All these are there in the factory for you to see. Mock-ups are available, again, residential villas where we are able to kind of execute it in a 2,400 square feet villa that can be done in about 90 days to 120 days, start to finish. From an affordable homes point of view, this is a design that we had come up with, the 384 square feet built-up area, 2-bedroom with a common kitchen and living room, which we had designed some time back. And the interesting thing is, this has only 13 elements. And you all want to guess how long it took us to assemble this? Anybody? Just take a wild guess. 5 days? Okay, we put it up in 2 hours and 14 minutes. So which means we have these elements in stock with us. They're basically 13 elements. Right? 13 elements, we're talking about the 3 pieces for the floor slabs, the external walls, the internal walls, the roof, 13 elements. We keep them as inventory, on order, we ship it, install it. So it's as simple as bringing them together. You don't need a crane, just a hydra is good enough. Ultimately, it's all based on how far that you have to take. That's all you need to basically look at. Some of the other designs for the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. affordable homes again for the Vaishnavi group that we have, that we're working on at the moment. We're working with Bosch, we're doing 2 projects with them, and we've actually acquired 2 more projects for them as well recently. This is the one in Ardmori, where we're doing a flyover for them. We're also building their facility, which is in the handing over stages at Bidadi. This is the famous Indira Canteens, which was done in 45 days, 101 canteens, fully functional. Some of the special projects, building this in Infosys, Mysore. We're also starting off with building a clock tower, which is going to be the tallest clock tower in the world, 135 meters, again in the Infosys campus. Designs, it's under concept design at the moment. And the research center in MIT. Now, one of the things that we understand is, from an engineering perspective, from what we studied back in college, nothing has changed from a syllabus, right? What my father studied in civil is probably the same thing even today. While there has been immense progress and advancement when it comes to technology, we're still using the old practices and the legacy technology, if I may say so. What we're also doing is we are building a research center in Manipal, where we are basically trying to introduce precast as one of the curriculums, and trying to promote this technology where you're looking at the entire country trying to kind of embrace precast and technology and robotics, etc. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them. Thank you very much.
Mr. Bopaya, thank you very much for such an eye-opening presentation. Who would have thought that you could get a house done in 2 hours and 14 minutes? Yeah, that's even faster than ordering groceries from Amazon now. So, and thank you very much for also inviting all of us to your world-class state-of-the-art facility in Hoskote, I think it was. Krishnagiri. All right. So I'm sure a lot of us have a lot of questions, but in the interest of time, we can't take it now. You're all of us welcome to the world-class factory. And if you'd like to meet Mr. Bopaya right now, they are available on table number 26. Mr. Bopaya and his team from KEF KATERRA, our titanium partner. So thank you very much once again, and let's hear it for Mr. Bopaya.